Reports suggest U.S. military leaders urged caution, with concerns over air defense interceptor stockpiles influencing decisions on further strikes against Iran. Officials say the pause in escalation reflected broader military planning rather than a single factor, including the need to preserve critical air defense assets. Analysts say Iran's sustained missile campaign has increased pressure on U.S. air defense systems and interceptor inventories across the region. Pentagon officials are reportedly reassessing operational priorities as extended combat raises concerns about missile stockpile sustainability. Military planners are weighing future options as continued operations against Iran could further strain U.S. air defense resources. Donald Trump reportedly held back from a major escalation against Iran as Pentagon concerns over missile stockpiles grew, the New York Times reported. According to the New York Times, dwindling Patriot interceptor inventories became a major factor shaping White House deliberations on further military action. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Caine reportedly warned that another large-scale war with Iran could strain U.S. air defense capabilities across the region. Caine reportedly told officials that expanding operations against Iran could reduce Patriot missile coverage protecting U.S. forces under CENTCOM. The reported concerns over air defense readiness ultimately became a key factor in President Trump's decision-making on possible further escalation. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command said the American naval blockade against Iran remained fully enforced across the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM said U.S. forces redirected 12 commercial vessels that allegedly attempted to bypass the blockade on July 25. The U.S. military said 2 commercial ships were disabled after they ignored repeated warnings and failed to comply with blockade instructions. CENTCOM also said American forces boarded 2 commercial vessels to verify compliance with blockade enforcement measures in the Gulf. According to CENTCOM, a Comoros-flagged tanker was cleared after inspection, while another vessel was disabled for failing to comply. Statement by U.S. CENTCOM said, and I quote, "The U.S. naval blockade against Iran remains in full effect. As of July 25, CENTCOM has redirected 12 commercial vessels trying to run the blockade, disabled 2 that didn't comply, and boarded 2 to ensure total compliance." Earlier today, U.S. forces completed a verification boarding aboard Comoros-flagged MT Charmana in the Arabian Sea, and the tanker is now continuing its journey. CENTCOM forces disabled Mozambique-flagged MT Levine in the Gulf of Oman, July 24, after the crew attempted to violate the blockade multiple times and ignored repeated warnings. The ship is no longer transiting to Iran. Unquote. As missiles continue flying thick and fast between the United States and Iran, Donald Trump is reportedly preparing an entirely new military mission behind the scenes. Trump is reportedly weighing a high-risk special operations mission aimed at seizing Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium before it can be moved elsewhere. The stunning details of Trump's potential next operation against Iran were revealed in a report published by the New York Post on July 25. The proposed American operation would reportedly require thousands of troops to secure, occupy and control Iran's heavily fortified nuclear facilities. Among the primary targets on Washington's list are the strategic nuclear sites at Isfahan, Fordow and the deeply buried Pickaxe Mountain Complex. Objective: seize and secure Iran's enriched uranium stockpiles before they can be relocated, concealed, or potentially weaponized. Mission type: a large-scale special operations raid supported by conventional military forces and extensive logistical coordination. Ground force: thousands of troops would reportedly be deployed to capture, secure, and hold multiple nuclear sites simultaneously. Primary tasks: clear access routes, breach fortified entrances, and neutralize explosive traps before specialist teams move inside. Special operations: elite units would spearhead the mission by locating, securing, and extracting sensitive nuclear material from underground facilities. Engineering support: military engineering teams would clear damaged structures, remove obstacles, and create safe access through heavily fortified complexes. Security: a layered defensive perimeter would be established around every captured site to repel counterattacks and protect the operation. Extraction: heavily guarded military convoys would transport the recovered nuclear material from the facilities to designated airfields for evacuation. Air requirement: the entire mission would depend on complete control of the air corridor to ensure uninterrupted troop movements and safe extraction. The proposed Special Operations Force would reportedly include SEAL Team SIXS Silver Squadron, along with the U.S. Army's 2nd Ranger Battalion. The U.S. Army's 21st Ordnance Company would reportedly be tasked with securing, handling, and transporting any enriched uranium recovered during the operation. However, The biggest challenge for the U.S. military would be carrying out such an operation deep inside Iran's hostile and heavily fortified nuclear complexes. Many of Iran's nuclear facilities are buried deep beneath mountains, making access extremely difficult even after sustained airstrikes. Recovering and securing highly enriched uranium would require extraordinary precision to prevent contamination, damage, or proliferation risks. American forces would have to conduct combat missions inside heavily defended hostile territory while facing constant threats from Iranian troops. Military engineers could be forced to cut through collapsed tunnels and bomb-damaged entrances before reaching the underground facilities. U.S. personnel would need to hold captured nuclear sites for an extended period while repelling repeated Iranian counterattacks. Every phase of the operation would require carefully timed withdrawals before Iranian reinforcements could surround or overwhelm American forces. Moving sensitive nuclear material out of Iran would demand secure convoys, air cover, and strict safeguards against interception or sabotage. Iran is reportedly preparing for what it believes could be an imminent American assault on its highly sensitive nuclear installation at Isfahan. Reports claim explosive traps have already been positioned around the Isfahan complex, while heavily armed perimeter forces remain on constant alert. Meanwhile, Pickaxe Mountain has reportedly emerged as Washington's newest priority target because of the advanced nuclear centrifuges believed to be housed there. Tunnels beneath Pickaxe Mountain, a move that could significantly strengthen the protection of its sensitive nuclear infrastructure. The assessment is based on Israeli intelligence findings cited in a report by the Wall Street Journal, which details concerns over Iran's post-war nuclear activities. According to the report, Israeli officials shared their intelligence assessment on Pickaxe Mountain with the United States, warning that Iran may have relocated critical nuclear equipment. The reported transfer is believed to have taken place after coordinated U.S. and Israeli strikes targeted several of Iran's key nuclear facilities during the conflict. Those military operations focused on Iran's three principal nuclear sites during the June 2025 conflict, aiming to disrupt Tehran's uranium enrichment capabilities. Israeli officials believe the centrifuges that survived the strikes were later moved deep underground, where they would be far better protected from any future military attacks. Officials caution that the reported relocation does not necessarily indicate Iran has established a new underground enrichment facility, but rather reflects an effort to secure existing equipment. The equipment may instead have been placed inside hardened underground tunnels to shield it from possible future U.S. or Israeli airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear program. The Wall Street Journal cited both Israeli and U.S. officials familiar with the intelligence assessment, although the findings have not been publicly released by either government. Iran has so far made no public comment on the reported relocation of centrifuges to Pickaxe Mountain or the intelligence claims outlined in the report.